G'day fellas, welcome to a casted game of Age of Empires 4. Spawning in the south of the map, playing the Abbasids, it's Hagrid. He's from the Age of Empire, or the Age of Mythology community rather, and quite a good player over there, I understand. Some people have described him as unreal, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got for us this game. His opponent, spawning in the north of the map, FTW Cheese, who we're just going to be calling Cheese. Curious exactly how he's going to be playing. I haven't actually seen any of his play before. He's going to be playing the Holy Roman Empire. You can already see that prelate out nice and early, going to be buffing up those villagers. And Scout, you can hear him bringing around those sheep every single time that one of those sheep get collected. You hear that little bell around the neck, the ding, 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 ding. But let's take a look at the map. So the map that we've got here, I think it's called Altai, A-L-T-A-I. So it's, you know, there's a nice little valley in the middle, and then on the outside, you've got these extra large mountains that you're not really going to have much to do with. But on the outside, there are a lot of resources, so it's important to consider that. So down towards the western side, I guess you'd say the southwestern side, you've got big gold deposits, another big gold deposit. You've got sacred sites as well. Sacred sites are balanced out quite nicely. This one here a bit closer to Hagrid. This one a little bit closer to Cheese up on the north side. So not too bad, not too bad. Let's take a look down here to the south. So we can already see that Hagrid on berries going to be opening with gold early. So actually did open with a lumber camp. So I'm curious to see whether Hagrid goes for a... every time we've watched him play, he's gone for a really early golden age. So we can't actually click on it to show you what it is yet, because the building, it's not yet built. But when that building gets built, we'll do it. Essentially, you want to have 10... buildings, and that's going to enable your villagers to gather things 10% faster. Taking a look, so he's got 7 villagers on food in the early game. He's going 2, 2, and 7. A little bit late on the gold, though. With the mill, I'd be curious to see whether he picks up wheelbarrow. I'm going to suspect that he doesn't actually pick up wheelbarrow just because of how late he was onto gold. I like picking up early wheelbarrow, but I'm a bad player, so you probably don't pick up wheelbarrow early. Cheese, on the other hand, he is going very standard. This is definitely more the standard playstyle that we see with the Holy Roman Empire. People ignore wheelbarrow, they ignore going a mill, ignore going a lumber camp. Really just focus, you know, get the house, get the mining camp down. And don't these houses look absolutely awesome? Take a look at that. We're going to have a little bit of a zoom in. Hold on. Let me see if I can get the camera angle right around. There you go. Look at that house. Doesn't it look absolutely awesome? Such good quality. Really, really nice game. FPS drops a little bit, I think. I don't know exactly why the camera lags when we do that, but let's take it back to normal. Swing you guys around. Hopefully you don't get motion sickness as we do it, but going to be aging up with none other than the Mindwork Palace over here, for anybody unfamiliar. Acts as a blacksmith, so 150 wood for free. In addition to that, it also reduces the cost of techs in the blacksmith by 25% for the rest of the game. So that is your tier 1 techs, your tier 2 techs, your tier 3 techs. On Hagrid's side, he's already got down his House of Wisdom and going to be aging up now. 2 minutes to go up with the military wing. A very curious decision. This is not something that we've seen people do before, going up with the military wing on a standard open land map. Now, I would call this a standard open land map. Oh, look, I'll be honest with you guys. It's not particularly standard or open, but it is a land map. So there's not going to be, you know, there's no pond behind you like Black Forest. There's no water in between you and your enemy like Archipelago. There's no giant hill. You know, it's very... If you wanted to boom on this map, you very easily could. You could put down a second town center right here. You'd be very safe. You could even go put a town center over here on the hunt. You'd still be very safe. You'd be absolutely fine. And so it's curious to me that he's going for this. I think he would have something in mind. He would definitely have a plan in mind as to what he's going to be going for, what he's going to be looking to achieve this game. Previously, when we've watched him, if I remember correctly, we've seen him go a little bit more towards the economic side. So opening up with the military in the early game, maybe he's got a read on Cheese that we haven't picked up on. It could be that he scouted out how heavily he was on gold in the early game and realized that he was going to be potentially looking at a rush here. Typically, out of the Holy Roman Empire players, you do see a lot of aggression in the early game. Actually going to be dropping down a mill now. So we'll take a look at Cheese. We'll see how much he does. We don't see any forward villagers. No forward villagers at the moment. But he's in a pretty decent spot, I would say. He's got multiple prelates out. So we've got one prelate here. Second prelate out. And he's in a decent spot. The question is he going to start adding barrackses? And if so, is he going to do it now? Or is he going to look to potentially burgeon out that economy a little bit more? He's not gathering any gold at the moment. Rather, any stone at the moment. So not going to be looking to drop that second town center. But neither player is at the moment. So I'm a little bit curious as to what's actually going to be happening. Now we've got the stable going to be dropping down. This is a curious decision. Let's talk a little bit about the stable, because people typically think that the Holy Roman Empire, it's all about infantry, it's all about hitting that men-at-arms timing attack. But realistically, we see a lot of Holy Roman players actually going for a stable instead. And my thinking is that players probably are just going stable because it's a bit like mind gaming. You know, if your enemy is playing the HRE, you expect them to play into you a certain way with those men-at-arms, and they're not going to be doing that. So they're going to be opening stable. So we'll take a look at Hagrid. We'll see what he's up to. Hagrid actually scouting that out, so I'm pretty sure he spots that. We'll take a look at his line of sight. He does actually spot the area. The reason why you don't see it is because it's bugged. So you can see the scout, even though there's stuff underneath this. And he has gone past it. There's yeah, it's a little bit bugged. It's okay. It'll be fixed up in the official release. But he scouts this. He knows what is up right now. So he's going to be preparing for that. You can see he's actually dropped down an outpost. So not the first outpost we've seen him create. It's definitely something he tends to do. Double stable for him. So you can see just how much he's got queued up in here. His economy is quite big at this point, and just a little bit of action happening with the scout. Going to be pretty close to his golden age. He's actually sitting at 7 out of 10 at the moment, so not looking to finish that one off. He could add 3 houses very easily though and finish that off. It's something that we've seen him do before, where he tends to go, but one of the things to note is running pretty low on berries out here, so he's going to have to be looking to migrate down to these berries to the south, eventually down to these berries even further to the south. But now the cavalry begins to push across the map. Hagrid looking to see if he can pick up any potential villages. Nothing yet too crazy, but I will note he's actually bringing in some, this is from the perspective of Cheese. Cheese actually bringing in the carcasses of the deer on their backs. Very, very nice moves from the scout. So good to see that he's got 2 scouts out and he's doing it. It makes it much easier to do it this way. Typically, you see players only do it with 1 scout and it takes them a long time. So for anybody wondering, it's the technology in the mill. It's this one right here. It's called Professional Scouts. And now we've got a bit of a raid happening right here. Going straight for the Prelate as well. This is 100 gold, a very expensive unit. Actually going to be able to get inside the town center, or rather inside the tower. So keep in mind that Prelate, very expensive compared to a villager, only 50. So it's basically like a double kill if you manage to get it. Really do want to be focusing those down. And now, Cheese looking pretty decent here. But my main concern for him is there are multiple horse raids potentially coming in to push him in. And he's going to be having to respond on multiple fronts. There's no real way for him to defend it. You see 4 villagers manage to get inside. The rest of the villagers continue to walk back to the town center. But we have the Abbasid player Hagrid giving up on that raid. But now continuing more attacks and really just applying pressure. What's he going to do behind it though? Because from here, I'd love to see him boom. But we know that Hagrid isn't gathering any stone. So we know that he's not going to be looking at a second potential town center. We know that he's not gathering fresh foodstuffs, or he's researching fresh foodstuffs. So he's not even looking at potentially saving gold. He's really just applying pressure to his opponent here. And ideally, he would want to be doing that as well as booming at the same time behind it, if he can. Going to continue raiding up towards the north of the map. Oh my lord, a Prelate. What is this Prelate doing? How did... Is he? Oh, he must be going up. Cheese is going up to the next stage. Cheese is aging up. That's what that Prelate's doing. Cheese going up now with the Regnitz Cathedral. Okay, I was very confused about what this Prelate was doing and why it was heading up here, but indeed we can see the reason why it's heading up there. A couple villagers now managing to get inside that tower before going the way of the dodo. They still survive to see another day. That Prelate gonna just camp. This is what I suspected would happen. You would see players send out Prelates to their respective relics, and then as the age up happens, they're going to walk them back immediately, giving no time for the enemy to react to these. Now, keep in mind, if we take a look at the perspective of Hagrid, okay, there's a very high chance that Hagrid is going to have seen these relics. He's going to know that the monks are going to be coming out there, or the prelates are going to be coming out there, but he's not going to have any time to even send out a single horseman out there to deny those, because he's already going to have those prelates in on the way. You watch him, 3, 2, 1, undoubtedly going to have this picked up any second now. Any second now, it's going to be on the way in. Any second now. There it goes. Now it goes. 1 to the north, 1 to the south. Both of them going to be coming in. And a third in the middle of the map going to be picked off here by a couple of horsemen, but he's bringing it back and relatively safe distance. Going to be easy for him to be able to secure this. Not too hard. So as long as he's able to push out with a couple of spears, I think he should be in a decent position. Now keep in mind, the reason why he's fighting so hard to get the Regnitz Cathedral filled up is because he can hold a maximum of three relics, and those relics normally gather at 100 gold a minute. But when they're in the Regnitz Cathedral, they gather at 300 gold a minute. So if you can get 3 in, it's equivalent to 9 relics that you've got. Village are going to be going down underneath the tower. It could have gone inside the tower, but it didn't do it. A couple of wolves getting in on the action as well. We see the lancers, or rather knights, coming out. Going to be charging up. You see the jousting managing to hit, but the horsemen are slightly faster than the lancers, or the knights rather. But you know what's even slower than those two? It's this boy right down here, the bitey infantry. Very bitey, very infantry. Going to get taken out by the knights. And I definitely feel like Cheese is in a pretty decent spot here. He's managed to secure 2 relics in the early game. There's the second one coming in now. A couple of villagers need to get inside that tower, but they managed to actually survive despite being stuck, locked out, if you will, on the outside. More scouts continuing to retrieve more and more food. I do really like the way that Cheese is playing this. For a player I've never heard of, he's definitely doing a great job. Now, there was a player back in the day, back when I played Age of Empires 3, back in about 2006, there was a player by the name of Mr. Cheese, and he played in the clan FSE. And that clan, if you're familiar with it, is from it's H2O's clan. And so it was Mr. Cheese. If I remember correctly, no, I'm remembering correctly. Don't worry. Yeah, so maybe that's Mr. Cheese. Who knows? Maybe he still goes by Cheese. Maybe he just changed his name. Maybe now he's For the Win Cheese. But nonetheless, 3 relics now going to be heading over to Cheese. And Cheese going to be looking pretty darn decent at this point because he's got 3 relics. That's 300 gold a minute times 3. So now that's going to go up to 900 gold a minute. We'll take a look at Cheese's perspective. You can see he's up at 800 gold a minute. He's not even going to need villagers on gold. He's going to have that much gold trickling in. What's he going to spend all of his resources on? Hagrid's now reached the castle age, so he's going to be able to think a little bit more outside the box. But I guess my question is, what does he spend all this gold on? Because obviously he's got knights that are coming out. We take a look at the cost of the knight. It's 100 gold. He can afford to make 9 knights a minute. A knight takes 35 seconds, so even if you've got 5 stables, you're barely able to keep up with how much gold that is. That's just to give you an indication of how much gold is trickling into that. That is a huge amount of gold coming in right now for Cheese. He's in a very happy position. And my concern is that he's hitting a bit of a timing window right here because his opponent's now going for camels. You can see the camels are out, but these aren't elite camel riders. These are just normal camel riders. Keep in mind, they do need this upgrade. Where is it? Oh, actually, no, they don't. These are just normal camel riders, age 3 camel riders. That's fine. Keep doing your thing, camel riders. 18 versus cavalry, so 28 damage total. But keep in mind, these guys are doing 20 damage as a base. 230 health versus the 270 health. So technically, on even numbers, I would suspect the camels would be able to beat out these units. In addition to that, they also have an aura that causes the knights to deal less damage as well. So they're only dealing 20 damage. I think normally they would deal like 23 damage, 24 damage, something like that. So they are able to reduce that down and managing now to clean these up. It's a dangerous decision to be going knights against a camel civilization. And now we see that Cheese is actually getting punished pretty handedly right now. Keep in mind, these units are expensive though. 180 food, 60 gold. So it's not going to be something super duper easy to really continue facilitating the purchase of or the training of. Market now going down in the base for our Abbasid player Hagrid. Take a look over at his perspective, see how he's macroing. He's got 34 villagers at the moment. Compare that to Cheese. Cheese, on the other hand, 34 villagers as well. Both players looking pretty decent. And Knights going up against the Camels. Who is going to win? We see another Knight coming in now with a charge. Going to be finishing that one off. And actually, the Knights looking pretty decent. Despite being not as strong as the Camels, they're able to overwhelm their opponents just simply through brute force. You can just see how high their attack is. 26 attack on these Knights right now. 21 attack now that the Camel comes in. And the good game gets called. Hagrid realizing that the game is over at this point. And ladies and gentlemen, that is it. YouTuber, you may be aware that this is getting casted on Twitch right now. So Twitch, make sure you say hi to YouTubers. YouTubers, another thing, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you liked it. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.